Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. So glad you could join us today. You know, we constantly see these amazing, super catchy ads, and it's easy to just assume, right? To think the magic all just magically happened in a creative studio somewhere. But today, we're going to peel back the curtain and explore the unseen, highly rigorous planning phase that happens before a single ad is ever created. Literally before a single word of copy is even written. It's this surprisingly fascinating journey into the architecture of what makes a campaign actually succeed.
So, what actually happens before that ad gets created? It's a huge question, and the harsh truth is, most amateur campaigns completely fail simply because they skip this exact step. They skip the professional planning. They just jump straight into trying to make something look pretty, completely ignoring who it's for, what it's supposed to do, or even how they're going to pay for it. So today, let's explore how the true professionals actually lay down this groundwork.
All right, here's our step-by-step blueprint for today. We're going to hit 5 key areas. First, finding your target audience. Second, the push versus pull strategy. Third, setting the budget. Fourth, we'll dive into the core execution pillars with the 5Ms framework. And finally, measuring success using a concept called DAGMAR. Let's get right into it.
Starting with step 1, finding your target audience. Basically defining exactly who we are talking to.
Imagine you're staring at a completely blank whiteboard. This first step is all about identifying the exact specific people you want your message to reach, because you simply cannot speak to everyone at once. It just doesn't work. So advertisers follow 3 very clear steps here. First, you have to identify the problems and needs. Like, what real-world problem does your product actually solve? Say you have a brand offering doorstep delivery of fresh Assam tea. You're solving a very specific problem for city supermarket shoppers who just literally cannot find genuinely garden-fresh tea on their local shelves. Okay, second step, you look at your competitors. You study how the existing players are reaching those similar customers so you can figure out how to stand out. And third, and notice this is only after those first 2 steps, then you actually create the content for your communication.
Now, once you actually know who you're talking to, you have to figure out what you want your promotion to achieve. Broadly speaking, these objectives fall into 3 main buckets. You might want to increase demand, just nudge people toward actually buying the thing. Or you might need to provide information, literally just helping customers understand what on earth your product does. And finally, you might want to create differentiation. A really brilliant example of this last one is the Muga silk sellers in Suwakuchi. When they launch a campaign, they aren't just giving you basic facts about silk, they are specifically highlighting a weaver's handloom authenticity to differentiate themselves from all those mass-produced fabrics out there.
Moving right along to section 2, the push versus pull strategy. Basically, navigating the tactical battlefield.
Honestly, understanding the difference between a push and a pull strategy is probably one of the most practically useful tools in this entire explainer. It's like flipping a switch on how you view sales. Let's look at the completely flipped dynamics here. A push strategy is entirely trade-driven. The manufacturer pushes the product toward the customer through the distribution chain, using trade discounts, fancy point-of-sale displays, that sort of thing. Think of a new local snack brand trying to get shelf space in Guwahati's neighborhood shops. They rely entirely on persuading the shopkeeper. On the flip side, we have the pull strategy. This reverses the script completely. It's customer-driven. You build such intense demand directly among the customers that they walk into shops actively demanding the brand by name. Imagine a trusted, well-established Assam tea brand. Customers walk in, ask for it specifically, and literally force the retailer to stock it. So, push relies on the trade channel, while pull relies on the customer's own desire.
All right, on to number 3, setting the budget. Yep, the money question.
Look, it is a harsh but very true reality that a brilliantly creative advertising idea is entirely useless if you realistically can't afford to run it. Organizations usually figure out their spending using one of 4 standard methods. First, percentage of sales. That simply takes a fixed percentage of past or projected sales. Pretty straightforward. Then there's the affordability method, which basically means spending whatever is left over after all your other costs are covered. Obviously, this is super common for smaller businesses dealing with tight cash flow. Next is competitive parity, which is just matching what your competitors spend so you don't get drowned out in a crowded market. But the final one, objective and task, is widely considered the absolute most rational and logical approach. You clearly define your objective, you list out the exact tasks needed to achieve it, and then you estimate what each of those tasks costs. Simple, but highly effective.
Section 4, the 5Ms framework. These are the core pillars of execution.
Okay, so you've defined your audience, picked your strategy, set your budget. Now what? Now managers rely on the 5Ms to actually run the program and bring the whole thing to life. Literally every advertising decision falls under these pillars. Mission is your objective and sales goal. Money is, of course, the budget. Message is what exactly you're going to say. Media is deciding which channels will actually reach your audience. And listen, this one is absolutely crucial. For instance, if your target audience is out in rural Assam, they might respond incredibly well to local radio or a hot-based promotion. But a flashy Instagram campaign, that would be a total waste of money. You have to match the media to the audience. And finally, measurement, which asks the big question, did the message actually land?
And finally, Section 5, Measuring Success Using Dagmar. This is all about redefining how we measure results.
So, measuring results goes way, way beyond just staring at the daily cash register thanks to a foundational concept called DAGMAR. That stands for Defining Advertising Goals for Measured Advertising Results. It was proposed by Russell H. Coley way back in 1961. And Coley had this simple but honestly massive insight. Marketing goals and advertising goals are not the same thing. Marketing goals are measured in sales, but advertising goals, those are measured by the customer's mental journey.
So how do we measure a mental journey? Well, Dagmar tracks it across 4 communication steps. Step 1 is awareness, where the customer literally just realizes your brand exists. Step 2 is comprehension. They actually understand what your product is. Step 3 is conviction. They form a mental or emotional preference for it. And step 4 is action. They finally buy the thing. So why does this matter? Well, imagine a new health drink brand launches in Assam. If, after a 3-month campaign, market research shows that brand awareness has shot up from 10% to 60%, your advertising just successfully did its job. It worked perfectly. Even if the actual purchase conversion takes a little bit longer because of, say, pricing or distribution issues.
This crucial mindset shift is captured so perfectly right here. Marketing goals are measured in sales. Advertising goals are measured by how far the customer has moved along a hierarchy of communication stages. It's a game changer because it allows you to measure your success honestly and accurately, based on specific, audience-tied goals, rather than just panicking over immediate sales numbers.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with a bit of a provocative challenge. Are you measuring your advertising success in immediate sales or in the true awareness of your audience? When you take the time to properly plan, when you find your precise audience, define whether you need a push or a pull strategy, logically budget your tasks, and actually use Dagmar to measure your true communication goals, that's when you stop guessing and you start succeeding. I really hope this deep dive gives you a powerful new lens to understand all the incredible planning that goes on long before a campaign is ever launched. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I absolutely cannot wait to explore more fascinating concepts with you next time.